Mr. Dixit, is this really the theatre of the absurd? What's essentially happening here? And can really any one of them stand up and say that they're the real Trinamool Congress?
Very good evening, Kabir and Rohi. First of all, I would like to say that for a party who was in power for 15 years and a long history of struggle, I would you will also find Rohi agreeing to my word that Mamata Banerjee is a inspiration for many. Her fight and her struggle, everything. But the matter of the fact that these parties are, these are Congress breakout parties and they have a Congress culture. So their party decision and their family decision is nothing different. What the family thinks is what the party thinks. Similarly, the post and the positions of the Trinamool Congress was always a similar thing. If you find their communications to Election Commission, their written communications to various other offices of the country, maybe to the Chief Justice of High Court or the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, you will see sometimes Subrata Bakshi, their ex-president, would sign as president. Sometimes they would sign as the vice president. So, they had no particular functionary of their party. They had no particular, office bearers of their party. Whenever they'll think that this person is this, they'll make that. So now coming to the point, who is the real Trinamool Congress? Without any doubt, in the Legislative Assembly, the majority of the MLAs they have claimed that they are Trinamool Congress, and as per the traditions and as per the convention, the majority speaks on the floor of the House, at least, not in front of Election Commission. So in the Legislative Assembly, there is no doubt that Ritubroto-led Trinamool Congress is recognized as the Trinamool Congress. But again, the remaining faction, in the leadership of Shobham Dev Chattopadhyay, the earlier leader of opposition, appointed by the Trinamool Congress, which was headed by Mamata Banerjee,
All right.
they also claim to be the Trinamool Congress. And the Honorable Speaker, they recognize both as the Trinamool Congresses. So there's obviously confusion in the assembly as well. Now, coming out of the floor of the assembly, when we talk regarding the sessions hosted by Ritu Broto and all the other members,
Yeah.
when they claim that they are the Trinamool Congress, see, there are now two point of views. One is the legality and one
Yeah.
is the morality. About legality, we cannot say much because that would be the Election Commission of India.
What
and
will
the
you say
Supreme
about
Court of India.
morality here, Mr. Dixit? When
When
you
I
can't
come,
say anything
yes,
about legality, what will you say about
right.
morality?
Now, when we come to morality, a party structure should not only be limited to their family members, and preference must be given to seasoned politicians who have been working on the ground
Yeah.
for decades. But it seems that family is priority for Mamata Banerjee. So morally, I think Trinamool Congress, led by Mamata Banerjee, must be recognized as the Trinamool Congress, since the logo is nothing without this woman. She is Trinamool Congress. There's
Only
no
time
doubt
will
in
tell,
that.
Mr. Dixit. Only time will tell. I mean, I think we're
Yes,
heading away of massive legal challenges. Rohi, how do you
correct.
look at these developments? People have been saying that this has been orchestrated by the BJP, and why they're saying is because in any case, in the center or in the Legislative Assembly, whether people back out, whether people don't back out, a weakened Mamata Banerjee ends up benefiting the Bharatiya Janata Party. And after that thumping defeat, it's only a cherry on the top. But is the BJP merely a beneficiary of the TMC's own implosion, like the BJP calls it? Or do you believe Bengal politics is now entering a post-Mamata era altogether? How's the BJP looking at these developments? And the latest words and statements coming from, let's say, Kunal Ghosh, coming from Mahua Moitra, all the Mamata loyalists.
Well, before answering your question, I just want to differ with one point that Anurag ji said. Anurag ji mentioned about the culture of TMC, which is a Congress culture. At least Congress has a culture that they will follow one particular family and they will abide by it. As far as TMC is concerned, they have no culture. They are just fighting lots. They have no ideology. Congress at least have an ideology for which, despite successive defeats, they are still surviving. You see TMC. Mamata Banerjee threatened that we will not
15
be
years
in
without an
power.
ideology to stay in power, is that, I mean, that's a mammoth of a task.
There are too many things here. I mean, in 2011, when they won for the first time, people were fed up of the left front government. 2016, again, there was no strong opposition. And 2021, they faced opposition from BJP. We also performed relatively well. And 2026, for the first time, when they really got the strong opposition, they lost. So this is a cycle of, I mean, that's very normal in politics. But at the same time, the question that you asked about the if it is orchestrated by TMC, by BJP, one very strange thing happened in the assembly today. Kunal Ghosh suddenly stood up because Ritubrata Banerjee and the 64, 65 TMC MLAs, they walked out of the assembly and Kunal Ghosh stood up to appreciate Shubhendu Adhikari. So basically, they themselves don't know what is happening in that party right now. BJP has no lena dena in this because we already have 208 MLAs. Again, in Nondigram, bypolls will be there and we will be winning one more seat. So we don't need them really. And multiple arrests are taking place. Had all we needed them, then probably a lot of other political considerations should have been there. Today, TMC is a confused lot, which is very good for democracy because TMC is a party that should not exist in a democratic setup. I'm not saying this for the Communist Party. We can have multiple differences with the Communist Party, but the fact remains they have an ideology. They want to deliver something. What does TMC wants to deliver? You tell me today, Mamata Banerjee, for example, what was Mamata Banerjee's political journey? I will be opposing Congress. She brought TMC. Then she started opposing left, joined hand with Congress, and then came to power. Started opposing BJP, joined hand with left and Congress to form the India Alliance. Then now out of power. So in present era politics, where the entire India is now an aspirational bloc, there you cannot have a politics which is just like
I mean,
a hate
if
club.
we were to put
And
out a graphic on our screens, the amount of times leaders from the NDA bloc have walked back on their own talk just to make sure that political alliances and legacies continue to thrive. I mean, it's going to be a long, a long haul and a pretty lengthy debate. But I do understand where you're coming from here, Rohi. There is a problem. There is a problem, and it's no news that there were some massive teething issues with the Trinamool Congress. Some that grew on to become major problems for Mamata Banerjee to tackle.